a service. Now I'll give you my backhand. My winner whizzes down the line. Betting weekly tennis live. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
Welcome to Betting Weekly Tennis Live in association with Bet Rivers. I'm Rory Giovanni. He's Tim Dennis. Yeah, we've got it the right way around now. And we'll be looking at all the in-play action from the Cincinnati Open. So that's on the ATP and the WTA tours. Remember, we want to get your thoughts and comments on the action. Anything you like this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow, outright, anything you like, just tell us what you think. And if you like what you hear on our shows, sign up for our newsletter, get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Tim, how are you doing? Have you been watching much of the action from Cincinnati? There was a decent match last night between Aryna Sabalenka and Emma Raducanu for one.
Hey Roy, yeah, good to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, that was a good match, a cracker to watch, and yeah, she had her chances sort of here and there, Raducanu, but Sabalenka's class just saw her through really. But good signs from her. She's clearly going the right way. She gave her a little bit of a contest at Wimbledon, didn't she, on the grass there, and she gave her even more of a contrast there yesterday. And yeah, good signs for her with the US Open coming up, because that'll do her plenty of confidence, plenty of good, and obviously a new coach there, and they seem to be linking up reasonably well from what I could tell. So yeah, lots of positive signs for her, and yeah, Sabalenka, she's obviously still in the tournament and will be hopeful of going further. But yeah, she was a long way off her best, wasn't she? I thought
she was. Do you know the joys of live broadcasting? I'm just going to reach up and close the window because I've just noticed it's open. It's very hot here in Madrid. You may have heard there's been some fires nearby, just north of Madrid. But I'm just going to close the window for a sec, and I'll get back to you very, very shortly.
Yeah, Rory says it's hot there in Madrid. I can tell you guys in America,
and we're back
hot here in the UK too. I think I was just saying it's hot here too, Rory. I think we're north of 30 degrees today, and for the next 3 or 4 days to come. So not used to it, us Brits.
Yeah, and we're not really used to it being this hot either. It's I think we do some rain tonight, but of course when it's hot in the UK, of course it's not really set up for it. There's no aircon and carpet, so it's I suppose low 30s in the UK would feel a bit like high 30s here. But yeah, Sabalenka, I think she's got some now ridiculous stats that she's won 12 tie breaks in a row.
Oh, in a row, all this year, I think. Yeah, 12 and 12, I think she is. Yeah,
incredible. And it's weird because she's a player who, you know, particularly early in her career, there were always questions about her temperament, and there are still questions about her temperament to my eyes. You know, especially as she's in a real fight against a high quality opponent. She's lost a couple of slam finals, which perhaps she could have won. But as you say, it's really promising for Emma Raducanu. She is playing well. She's pushed Sabalenka all the way, albeit, yes, as you said, Sabalenka wasn't at her best, but she got it done. She is the world number one, and that's what world number ones do. But Raducanu, 4 years on from that success, that stunning success at Flushing Meadow, I've been talking with Nigel obviously on the pod, and I can't remember the women's game being quite this unpredictable. I mean, I'm used to women's tennis being unpredictable, but you could make a case for several possible winners of the US Open, and Raducanu could be one of them.
Yes, she could be. I mean, like you say, I imagine the list is, you could sort of name about 12 players and still probably not get the winner. I mean, even players like Kalinskaya, she looked pretty good defeating Anisimova last night. Yeah, she's got a good 2 weeks in her, isn't she? Yeah, you just never know. I think anyone can beat anyone in the women's, and it's probably a little bit different to the men's in that it's not quite the same regard. But yeah, we've seen some shocks in slams lately, and like you say, no more so than Raducanu 4 years back. So yeah, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise if it was another one. Obviously, generally the cream probably will rise to the top, but I think there are certainly a few lurking in there that are big prices that you could throw a few darts at and get good runs for your money.
I think so, certainly can. Let's have a look at some of the in-play action going on in Cincinnati. I've just got to move my screen slightly to see what's going on. So 2 women's games, 2 men's games going on at the moment. Alexei Popyrin is up against Andrey Rublev, and Rublev is now serving to stay in the match. Lost the first set. The Australian 6-5 up in the second. Rublev 5-6 down in the third. The Russian +163. Popyrin -195. That's just changed. Rublev now +148 because he's won the first point of that game. Reilly Opelka won the first set on a tiebreaker. Surprise, surprise, against Fracisco Comesana. And Comesana has a break in the second. He's serving for the second set. Comesana +160, Opelka -205. In the women's, really good match between Eva Jovic and Barbora Krejcikova. Jovic won the second set. Krejcikova took the first 6-4, Jovic 6-3 in the second, but Krejcikova 3-love up in the third, so she has a break. It's deuce on the Jovic serve. Jovic $7, the very promising young American. Krejcikova -11.15 to complete victory there. And we were talking about possible US Open winners. It's only a very brave man would write off Krejcikova for any tournament. And the other match going on, Ella Seidel of Germany won the first set against McCartney Kessler, but Kessler took the second, and she's 4-3 up in the third. That's going with serve. Seidel is 40-30, so she's got a point for 4-all in the second set. So plenty of in-play action. Jovic has just saved she's just won the fourth game of the second set. So she is 1-3 in the second set. And yeah, so still a lot of tennis in that match. Krejcikova is fighting, and we saw her at Wimbledon come back from a long layoff and be competitive, and looks like she's doing the same again here, Tim.
Yeah, I've watched most of this game, Rory, and she was pretty good in the first set, and she was a completely different player in the second set. She was pretty much awful in the second set. But when I was watching that, it did, even some of the points there, it did look sort of adult, almost adult against child. She's still very slight, this Eva Jovic. She's obviously still only a 17-year-old, and Krejcikova, obviously a Grand Slam champion, and she looks to be just showing that slight difference in level at the moment. I think Jovic is clearly a player going places, but yes, she just needs to fill into that frame a little bit more and strengthen up a bit to my eye. And Krejcikova looks like she's going to take this third set now. Obviously a lucky loser. She's playing with house money at the moment, Jovic, because I think she already lost in this tournament, so she'll be happy to just be here. So she'll probably give it a go in this final set.
She certainly will. And Rublev has just held serve, so he saved the match. Second set tiebreak against Alexei Popyrin. And that should be very interesting. Popyrin won the first set on the tiebreak, 7-5. So Rublev will be hoping to level the match there. And Comesana, 40-love. He's got 3 set points against Reilly Opelka. Opelka's still the favourite. -152. Comesana +120. Bookies perhaps thinking that Comesana won't break the big Opelka serve again. Just good to get some of your thoughts and your comments. Salam Kilen, hi to you. Sabalenka, Khachanov to win, and Sinner and Alcaraz to win in straight sets. Part of my bet. How many legs have you got on that bet, Salam? Be interested to know. But Sabalenka playing tomorrow, and he's mentioned Khachanov, and that's one of the matches we're going to be looking forward to tonight. Seamless link there. Karen Khachanov against Jenson Brooksby. Khachanov -210. The spread 3.5 games. Totals 22.5. Khachanov, of course, runner-up last week in Toronto, falling in the final to Ben Shelton. Brooksby was a player who showed real promise. Then he served a drug ban. He's back now. He's had some decent results. Tim, you wanted to look at this match. What were your thoughts here?
Yeah, well, just looking at the comment from Salam there, one of us is going to be right and one of us is going to be wrong. Yeah, looking at the match, Brooksby leads the head-to-head 1-0. I think he actually won in Indian Wells back in 2022, but a very comfortable win, 6-love, 6-3, I think it was, and a good effort from there. I just think this might be just one game too far for Khachanov, was my thinking. Obviously, he made the final there in Canada, losing to Ben Shelton after playing, I think, back-to-back 3-set matches, and then having to come here. And he was a little bit, I don't know, I thought he was a little bit cumbersome in his first round match. He was a breakdown in that second set against the world number 104 Valentin Royer, but he actually managed to come through and win it in a tiebreak. But I think that was more due to sort of Royer sort of not taking his chances rather than Khachanov's excellence. And I just think Brooksby, he's looked pretty good to me so far. He's beaten Muller and Arthur Cazot here so far to reach the third round. And he's perhaps not the strongest of servers, Brooksby, but it'll take real heart that he didn't have his serve broken throughout his second round win in a good display. And I just thought in sort of real tough, hot, humid conditions, this might just be a game too far for Khachanov. And I was quite tempted by the plus 165 on Brooksby. Yeah, like I said, he's obviously he won't fear Khachanov here, having beaten him already before, obviously a few years ago before he served his ban. And I think he's now firmly back in the top 100, playing some pretty good stuff from what I've seen. And yeah, I was quite keen on Brooksby tonight. I thought plus 165 was a fair bet.
You mentioned about Brooksby, should say, not being broken. I mean, and you've mentioned the hot and humid conditions. How quick are the courts playing in Cincinnati? I'd say pretty quick, judging by the amount of tie breaks we're seeing.
Yeah, well, like you say, that Rublev match has been 2 sets played so far, 2 tie breaks. Obviously, Opelka's fairly used to them. That was a first set tie break too. But I mean, like we said, Nate, in the women's match, Sabalenka Raducanu, they played 2 tie breaks there yesterday. And yeah, I mean, I think we've spoke before about conditions and some players seeing it different to others, haven't they? So I think you just have to rely on what the stats tell you and what your own eye tells you. It does look fiercely quick, and obviously the warm, humid conditions I think are playing a part there. I think these balls play a part, don't they? These light Wilson US Open balls, they fly through the air really quickly, and yeah, I think the conditions are certainly on the quick side, and the weather is aiding that too.
Just seeing a couple of your comments. Jasmine Paolini to win in straight sets, I think, was the previous comment. Bet of the day. She's playing Ashlynn Krueger, and I like Mensik also. Mensik -4. He's playing Luca Nardi. Yeah, the spread -3.5 games. Mensik -155. But the Paolini one's interesting because Ashlynn Krueger's a player I like. She reached the final Abu Dhabi this year. She's done almost nothing since. She does need quick conditions. And I just thought with Krueger, she's one of those players that you might catch her this week. She's plus 165 against Paolini. I think these conditions are a little bit quick for Paolini. She has just linked up with Goran Ivanisevic. Yeah, I did have a small outright bet on Krueger because she's in that bottom half. We know the draw is top heavy. Very top heavy in Cincinnati, and Krueger was one I thought could make a run, and I thought she might have a chance against Paolini, Tim.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I like you, was pretty impressed with her when she was playing in that hard court swing out, and in that final, I think she lost to Bencic in the final, didn't she, in Abu Dhabi? But yeah, she served really well, and the quick conditions really appeared to suit her from what I could tell. And yeah, certainly a little bit disappointing so far since that this year. I think she was beaten in the first round in a previous tournament there in Canada, but obviously came through in 3 sets. I think this is, a good chance for her against Paolini as well. Paolini doesn't have huge weapons that's gonna bother her, and I think she has the ability to take control of this match with her serve and a sort of +1, good on both wings. And I think plenty of pace should come off her racket. And I think she every chance in. And again, if plus 165, did you say she was, Rory?
Yes.
Yeah, again, a fair price. Paolini hasn't had as good a season as she had last year. That was always going to be difficult to do because that was an excellent season for her. But she's obviously had some good doubles results. But yeah, singles hasn't quite reached those levels again just yet. But I think she won earlier in the clay, didn't she? But yeah, I think plus 165 fair there on conditions that should suit Krueger. And I, like you, was on a trying to get through that bottom half of the draw with 3 or 4 others. So hopefully she can come through this test. And if she doesn't, hopefully one of the other few can. We'll see.
Yeah, it's as Nigel and I discussed, it was definitely a case of chucking a few darts at the bottom half of the Cincinnati draw and seeing what happened. Any thoughts on Mensik Nardi? Mensik quite a heavy favourite there.
Yeah, I saw Mensik play last week when he lost to Davidovich Fokina, and I wasn't overly sort of encouraged by from what I saw. There was a few, I think, signs of maybe I think he was feeling an elbow perhaps at 1 or 2 stages. Whether that's niggling him at all, I don't know. He come through his first round in straight sets, didn't he, against Ethan Quinn? Obviously a huge server. Conditions will suit him serving. Not the best returner in the world, but he should be able to take care of Nardi. You would have thought here on conditions they're going to be right up his street. Obviously, he beat Djokovic in the final on Miami in similar kind of conditions you'd think to here today. So this should be right up his street, really. So he should be coming through this today.
And going back to another comment, which I had to check this. Hamad to beat Carlos 2-1. So that's Hamad Medjedovic against Carlos Alcaraz. I wonder if we can see that comment.
Zimmer took a set off him the other day, didn't he? And so if he plays a couple of sets like he did against the set he lost to Zimmer, then you never know. But doesn't have a great record in. Maybe conditions are a little bit quick for him, but that's a bit of a leap of faith, isn't it? But hey, that's why you're getting decent odds on that bet, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sinner over, I guess that's over 2.5 sets, but Sinner to go 3 sets. He's up against Adrian Manarino. Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. I think Sinner's a bit of a different class. But I mean, generally, Sinner and Alcaraz look the class of the field, don't they?
They do. Sinner, he was excellent there against Diallo there last night, wasn't he? Very comfortable in the first set and saved a set point to go on and win the tiebreak. And yeah, I think if you had to choose one of the two for me, he looks the better of the two right now to my eye. I think the market reflects that too. And yeah, you can't fail to be impressed by Sinner at the moment, I don't think. So yeah, Sinner for me, yeah.
So going through a couple of your comments. Let's look at one of the women's matches tonight.
That second set, Roy. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's all right. No, absolutely. So Rublev back on level terms, winning the tiebreak 7-5. Meninda, Sean fancied Carlos to struggle a bit on game bet match. Won't spoil the bet. Worth a watch. Yeah, interesting. Well,
I think he lost in the first round to Monfils last year, didn't he?
Okay.
I think he smashed a racket in that game. And obviously, all wasn't quite right in his world at the time, perhaps. But yeah, Sinner looks to my eye the more comfortable of the two.
So we have going on right now. We'll go back to tonight's matches in a sec, but we'll just check in on the in play action. Fracisco Comesana has leveled it up at a set piece against Reilly Opelka right at the start of the deciding set.
Would you fancy Comesana there, the third set? I think I'd probably lean towards him with Opelka's fitness.
Yeah,
not being the best in these hot conditions. I think he's just got 15-30. So
yeah, I was a little surprised.
I haven't had a bet Opelka could hold this game, and then might be a chance to get on Comesana because I think he'd be in these conditions. He might be the one.
I was surprised when Comesana had 3 set points. He was plus money. I think it was plus 120. I said as that happened. But yeah, that is the problem with Opelka. Yes, he's got a big serve, but as matches go on, hauling that big frame around the court takes some doing. He has got it back to 30 all. and it's a pick and match now. -112 Opelka, -113 Comesana. Similar situation, Popyrin Rublev about to start the decider. Rublev quite a heavy favourite. He is serving first, which is quite a big advantage. -220, Popyrin +163. Any view on that, Tim?
The Popyrin Rublev game.
Yeah.
I think it'll be decided by a point here or there. Wouldn't be so big a surprise if it goes all the way to a tie break. They both look pretty good on serve, bar that first set when I think Rublev gifted Popyrin after breaking him. I think he served 3 double faults in the game to gift it straight back. But yeah, fairly strong on serve, and I think it'll be just very tight, decided by a point here or there either way. So tough to have a confident selection in that one. But yeah, I'd be if I was looking for a betting play now, I'd be backing Comesana right now, I think.
Okay. Moving on to the in-play women's action. Eva Jovic is serving to stay in the match against Barbora Krejcikova. 2-5 down, $12 to win. Krejcikova -$25. And Ella Seidel against McCartney Kessler. Guess what? That's gone to a tie break as well. 6 games apiece. They're just about to start the tie break. Kessler serving first. She's -205. Ella Seidel +155. So that's you up to date with the in-play action. Let's have a look at the big women's match tonight. Dayana Yastremska against Coco Gauff. Yastremska +275, Gauff -360. The spread 4.5 games, totals 20.5. Now, of course, Yastremska knocked Gauff out in straight sets at Wimbledon. Before that, in their previous meeting in Madrid, she bageled Gauff in the first set, but the American came back to win. Tim, another match you wanted to look at. I've declaration of interest here. I have backed Yastremska outright, so obviously I'm hoping she wins. Can you give me any crumbs of comfort?
No, because she's just withdrawn Yastremska, I'm afraid.
Has she really?
Yes, so that's a walkover for Gauff. So not much else to say on this match, unfortunately.
Do we know why? That's some breaking news.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Don't know why. I'll have to look into a little bit more of that. I think that is pretty much very, very breaking news. So yeah, walkover for Coco Gauff. So nothing to look at on that match, unfortunately.
That's a real shame. We have seen quite a few walkovers in this tournament. I think yesterday Marta Kostyuk pulled out before she was due to face Iga Swiatek, and we have a few. I'm just looking. It just says Yastremska withdrawing due to illness. So Coco Gauff has.
I guess they're probably not taking much chance. Obviously, with the US Open, obviously they know it's very hot weather, and I think any doubts they'll just look forward to the US Open, won't they?
Yeah, well, that's a shame. That's my futures bet for the week gone. So
it's funny because when you put that price up, the bet that I like was Yastremska +4.5 was -103, and I saw it moved into I think it moved into -124. So there was obviously a bit of money for that. So maybe it was the right way to go, but yeah, -121 it moved into, because it was -103 a few hours ago. So, but anyway, that's all by the by. It's all nothing, worth nothing now. So
yeah, it's all academic. Oh well. So we'll move on.
Move on.
We'll move on. Another match tonight featuring an American player. Well, this one we hope will go ahead. Magda Linette, the Pole, +420. Jessica Pegula -590. The spread 5.5 games. Totals 20.5. This was actually my pick for the newsletter. That came out yesterday. These two have had 3 previous meetings, and Pegula has won in under 19.5 games in all 3 of them. The line before, interesting, the line before was 19.5 games. It's moved up to 20.5. I think under 19.5 games was +102 when I selected it. You can see over 20.5 is now +102. Under 20.5 games, so under 20.5 games is -130. I fancy under 19.5, which is plus now It was plus 102. It's now plus 108. I know Pegula's recent form is a bit of a worry. She hasn't been her usual consistent self, but I'm thinking in quick conditions here, she's going to have just too much for Magda Linette. I mean, she hasn't been in great form lately, Tim, but I think she's showing signs of putting it together.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I think those of you who watched last week, I was actually on Pegula, or last week, or the previous tournament anyway in Canada, and she was disappointing, losing to Sevastova there after taking the first set. You wouldn't have seen her coming back to win those second and third set there, but that's what she did. Obviously, Pegula, like you say, these conditions should be right up her street. But I thought the same thing in Montreal, and it didn't quite turn out like that. But she's a quality player, and it's not going to last forever, is it? And she's going to find her form again sooner rather than later. And it wouldn't surprise you finding it here against a player like you said. She's got an excellent head-to-head record over. Has covered that unders in all three of those matches comfortably, and yeah, probably if that's a bet you like, Rory, then yeah. Who am I to put you off? I think.
Well, yeah. Well, you say that, Tim, but my luck's not been the best of late. Just had a comment on there, as I said, for Pegula, under 19.5 games for that one. Just had a comment, Bronzetti to beat Ostapenko. Bronzetti had a good win in round one. She beat Daria Kasatkina. Ostapenko had a walkover against Azoria, another walkover. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Bronzetti's a sort of a play you kind of quite like if you've had a bet, because you know she's gonna chase every ball, go after every point. She's not one to sort of do things half-hearted, and you just don't know which Ostapenko you're going to get, do you? This is the trouble in betting in Ostapenko games. It wouldn't shock you if Ostapenko wiped the floor with a 6-2, 6-1, and it wouldn't surprise you at all if Bronzetti went and gave her a good run for your money. I think sort of over sort of plus 220-ish, I think, sort of Bronzetti is, sorry. And yeah, it just depends which Ostapenko is going to turn up. Like you said, she had a walkover in the first game. I think she's playing doubles here, so she's attuned to the court, so that should be no worry. And she can go well in these fast conditions, can't she, Ostapenko? And whether these conditions might just be a little bit quick for Bronzetti, that would be my worry with her.
That would be a worry. And Ostapenko, we know how hard she hits the ball, and if she's on song, very hard to stop. Before we go, just a quick rundown of the in-action betting. Iva Jovic serving to stay in the match. Krejcikova has match point. She's got advantage against Iva Jovic, 2-5 on the Jovic serve. McCartney Kessler, that's going with serve in the tiebreak. Ella Seidel, 4-5 down on McCartney Kessler in that tiebreak. Kessler's just won the point. Now she has match point, 6-4 up in the tiebreak. Jovic has just saved a match point. In the ATP in Cincinnati, going with serve, unsurprisingly, Opelka, Comesana. 2-1 up Opelka, -137, Comesana, +110. And they've just started the decider between Popyrin and Rublev. Rublev, -240, Popyrin, +175. Tim, thank you as always for your
thanks. Just before we go, Roy, I think we could do a sort of a team daily double here, should we?
Oh, go on then.
We lost the Yastremska match, so if you want to put your unders in the Pegula in, perhaps, and I can put Brooksby in, perhaps we can do a team effort this week with that Gauff game going by the wayside.
Okay, Jenson Brooksby +165 on the money line against Karen Khachanov. Jessica Pegula against Magda Linette under 19.5 games. That is +108. Daily double pays +451. So that's quite a nice price.
Team effort this week.
Team effort. Well, fingers crossed. Let's hope we have an upturn in our fortunes. Tim, thanks again for your company, and thanks for the reminder on the daily double, and hopefully we can cash those tickets. Thanks to you for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the show. Give us your thoughts. Sign up to the newsletter. As mentioned at the top of the show, it's for free, bettingweeklystudios.com. And the boys will be back tomorrow. More in-play action from Cincinnati on Betting Weekly Tennis Live.